What I think we see in St. John is something completely new in human religious experience. We see that the human being, in the light of Christ and through Christ, and St. Paul explains that in more detail later, but we see in St. John that because of our relationship to Christ, our relationship to God has been transformed. We are now friends. There's a marvelous moment in St. John's description of the Last Supper, which is where some of the deepest mystical theology of Christianity has come from, the farewell discourses of Jesus to his disciples at the Last Supper. There's a marvelous moment in that where Jesus sort of sits back after washing the feet of his disciples and emphasizing his equality with them in a sense. And he says, now you see what I have done for you. Now this is how you have to live. This is how you have to deal and relate to each other at this level of equality. So forget the hierarchy and the power games that religious people like bankers or politicians or professionals or anyone or family members often get into. Clearly, St. John here is emphasizing this equality of Jesus with the human. And so he says, I call you my friends now. I don't call you servants any longer, even though I am your teacher, even though I have shown you the way, even though I am different from you, but I call you friends because I have shared with you everything I have learned from my Father. This is a turning point, I think, in human mystical consciousness. We are now able, and it's a challenge to us, we are now able to relate to God at this level of friendship and equality. And this clearly sets ticking a time bomb at the heart of all religion, because we are no longer tied to conceiving of God as outside of us, as distant, as someone we should fear because they will punish us, or someone we have to placate in order for them to fulfill our desires and do what we want. But we are now challenged at the deepest level of our own identity and our own self-knowledge to relate to our source, to our goal, to what we call God, at this level of human friendship. And so out of this mysticism of friendship in St. John, we move to a new way of looking at each other. This becomes very explicit in the first letter of St. John, where he speaks about the primacy of love. Our relationship to each other, loving one another, is the most important priority. It has replaced the law. It is the value that overrules and overrides every other value. And we cannot speak intelligently or with integrity about the love of God unless we have learnt to love one another. So there is a mysticism of love here. And St. John develops this at some very moving moments. For example, the way Jesus addresses his mother and his beloved disciple, John, from the cross. And we see his care for them. So there are very moving, humanly touching moments where this mysticism of love that has a huge cosmic significance and also a huge sociological effect upon religion, that this is rooted in the personal.